Hello and welcome to today's MM+M live webinar with our guest today from LiveWorld. Today's webinar is AI is redefining pharma brand perception. Are you in control? As AI-powered platforms like ChatGPT and reshape how consumers, patients, and HCPs seek health information, pharmaceutical brand perception is increasingly being shaped by algorithms, not ad budgets. LiveWorld's new AI Brand Reputation Index evaluates how 50 top-selling pharmaceutical brands are portrayed by leading AI tools. This isn't just about digital presence, it's about the stories AI is telling based on a mix of clinical data, HCP sentiment, patient experiences, and online discourse. As AI becomes the new front door to healthcare information, understanding and managing our AI reputation is no longer optional, it's essential. Before I introduce today's host, I want to remind everybody that we'll have some great handouts for you to take away with you at the end of this great webinar. All right, for our hosts today, we have Martin Bishop, the VP of Client Services at LiveWorld. As VP Client Services, Martin oversees the day-to-day activities of LiveWorld's largest clients' digital and social media programs. Also joining us is Trisha Kashima, the Media Director for LiveWorld. Trisha is a passionate media director that is driven to deliver quality media programs spanning from brand awareness to lead generation and measuring the results of every media dollar spent. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Martin, and Trisha, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Jameson. As he said, Trisha and I work at LiveWorld. And so first, a little information about what LiveWorld does. We're an agency that helps pharma companies unlock the power of social media. We have a range of products and services. We have creative built on a foundation of proactive compliance. We have moderation services to empower direct engagement with client audiences. And we have a range of strategic insight services built on our knowledge and interaction with patients and HCPs. We're also an agency that has spent some pretty considerable time over the last year and a half, I guess now, considering about what the impact of AI will be, not only on our business, but also on our clients' business. And we think it's going to be pretty significant. To start off this discussion or thinking, we're going to look at the fact that we think that AI is going to bring around a new era of information access. For those that have used ChatGPT and the other AI search engines, you'll know that one of the big differences between AI and regular search is that AI gives you answers and doesn't give you lists. And that turns out to actually have some profound implications for your business, which we'll get into as we go through this presentation. Just to dwell on this point for a little bit longer, on the left-hand side, you see a traditional Google search. And on the right-hand side is ChatGPT and the other AI search engines. So a traditional search just gives you a list of links to various sources, whereas AI will give you a direct and synthesized answer. That means that the user effort on Google search is more than it is for AI, which provides you immediate summary. Google will give you a lot of information if you want to go through pages and pages of links. Whereas AI will give you a concise overview with key points. And AI is also more personalized than Google. So just to illustrate it, a typical Google search is on the left-hand side and the AI is on the right-hand side. So with the question, is Ozempic better than Trulicity for type 2 diabetes? Here's your traditional list of answers from Google search, everything from WebMD to Medical News Today, et cetera, and many more links below that. And on the right-hand side is what ChatGPT does, is not only will it give you an answer, but it also arranges everything into a neat little table, and it goes into the key differences between Ozempic and Trulicity in that kind of way. So that seems good, but as we all know, and as some of you are probably dying to say, AI is not everything. AI doesn't know everything, and worse than that, it's someone who will always tell you something. So, there's always stories you hear about hallucinations and giving wrong information. But what I really want to focus on today is not so much that, which is true and which is obviously being addressed, and in future iterations will get better, but more focus on what ChatGPT can and can't access. because I think this is important, and I think this does have things that you can think about and take into consideration. As a rule of thumb, ChatGPT and the other AI search engines can only see what's publicly facing. And it can't see things like Amazon reviews, Sermo doximity, Facebook paid, and closed health communities. But it can see Reddit, it can see X, it can see Facebook organic, it can see drugs.com and WebMD discussions. And so as you think about that, you can think about the fact that if you want to be seen by ChatGPT, you need to consider about whether you are being seen or are active in these channels where ChatGPT can actually look. It might be tempting, and temptation I think should be resisted, to say, well, since ChatGPT is limited in what it can access, and since it's prone to making mistakes from time to time, can't we just ignore it? I think that would be a mistake, because I don't know how many of you have used ChatGPT, but I think that what the ease of use that I discussed already is something that's very compelling. It's easy to use, it's personalized, it just feels more satisfying to use ChatGPT than a regular Google search. And as we've seen in other industries, ease of use often wins, even if the results aren't necessarily as 100% as good as the alternative. I think that's very much going to be the case here. And in fact, there's some data to show that, because already 1/3 of consumers are using AI for health queries, which is a big number, and a number which I think is only going to get bigger over time. So the way that we've been thinking about this is, AI is going to have an impact on your brand, and what's a good way to try to bring all that together and summarize all of that? How do we sort of share that with people? And we've come up with this idea of looking at it through the lens of brand reputation. And AI is reshaping brand reputations, and companies should really need to understand and actively manage their brand reputation in ChatGPT and the other search engines. So just to talk briefly about brand reputation and what it is, it's really a synthesis of what consumers are actually thinking about you. It's a perception. It can be based on facts, but it can also be based on opinions. So it's built by customer experiences, it's built by media and PR coverage, social media presence, and sentiment, word of mouth, and how companies react to crises. As I said, it's a blend of fact and reputation. But what's good about it is very effective, I think, as a barometer of what consumers overall are thinking about you. And so we've put together these brand reputation studies that take a look at it. And for pharma in particular, what we've come up with is that reputation is driven by these 7 key reputation drivers. And you'll see here there's a list of different 7 drivers. Some of these are very much sort of fact-based, what could also be called structured data, things like efficacy and effectiveness, which are built from actual real data. And some of these things are much more opinion, what people say about you on Reddit, what people say about you on Twitter. But these 7 factors together, combined, can help you understand how your brand stands up from a reputation perspective. So just going back to thinking about where ChatGPT can actually source information on these 7 different factors, we can see here on the left-hand side what it can access directly and what it can't access on the right-hand side. And for efficacy and effectiveness, it can look at clinical summaries. On side effects, it can look at public safety alerts. Sentiment can be from Reddit and Twitter. HCP sentiment and trust can be from public surveys and conference news. Affordability and access can be from prices. Market invisibility can be from reviewing ads, et cetera, as you can read through the list. But on the right-hand side, you can see what it can't see. And so that may be, once again, thinking about it, if you want to be seen by ChatGPT, you have to be thinking about how can I create an impression on the left-hand side of this table, and more so than on the right-hand side. I'm going to take a pause here and ask a poll question, which is, how concerned are you about the way AI platforms currently represent your brands? So let's see what we'll have to say about that. And I'll give you a few seconds here to do that. Results coming in so far are not sure is winning so far. Let's see if I'm still not sure. Now we've got somewhat concern is making an appearance. So I think from that, the summary of that is that most people are maybe this is a new thing to think about for most people, and so you're not sure what the impact is. I think the impact for myself, can be quite profound, and I think the good news is that rethinking how you go to market, and maybe paying more attention to some things that have been at the back of your mind. Should we do something on Reddit? Should we revisit Facebook organic? Gives you the opportunity to frame and reshape your brand reputation so that it does as well as it can in terms of AI search. One of the ways in which we've continued to think about and sort of build up our knowledge about AI is to take a look at 50 of the leading pharma brands and compare them against each other in terms of their brand reputation. So we've developed this top 50 leading brand index, which takes those 7 reputation drivers that I shared with you before and scores each of the 50 leading brands against each of those reputation drivers to come up with an overall score. And we think that this is interesting because from just who is doing the best, but also it's diagnostic in the sense that those brands that are doing well can see where they're doing well in terms of the drivers. Those are not doing so well can also take a look at what they're not doing so well and think about what they can do there to do things better. So as I said, the top 50 brands are ranked by their overall reputation score. These we primarily use ChatGPT for this analysis, but we did also consider Grok and Perplexity. ChatGPT is by far the most widely used search engine at the moment. Grok and Perplexity are probably growing too. So this is something over time we'll continue to revisit. But for now, this is primarily based on ChatGPT. We also made sure the scores were consistent. So I ran the whole index twice to get good correlation. And the report, which will be included in a link, shows the top 50 brands ranked, but also then has the key findings and the strategic takeaways. In the report, number 1 brand this time around was Keytruda. And there were some other brands pretty close to that: Trikafta, Opdivo, Ozempic, and Eliquis. These brands led because they were very strong in efficacy and also had strong marketing as well. I should say that one of the other features of the report is that the reputation drives are not all considered to be equal. Some of them are more important than others, so the factors were weighted to take that into account, and efficacy was the number 1 weighted factor. All these brands that did well in the study did very well in efficacy, as well as most of the other drivers. And for me, the takeaways for this is, first of all, it's kind of awareness, right? So it's like, this, if AI search is going to be a thing, the thing to do first is to be aware that it is going to be a thing and to pay attention. And then the second thing is, once you start to be aware that it's important, then start monitoring how well you're doing against in AI search. And then the third thing is and start thinking about from a marketing perspective, how can I sort of move the needle on my brand reputation by, for example, participating more actively in Reddit and that kind of thing, so that you can move the needle there. And where I'm going to lead to next is Trisha jumping in to talk about what else you can do in terms of search strategy to optimize the results. So for us, we have a set of 3 different products that are talking to AI search. The first is the index, which I just talked about. That's the top 50 pharma brands, has the reputation ranking. That will be included in the link here after the fact. We have these small snapshot reports, which take a single brand and compare to 2 or 3 competitors. These are client customized but short snapshot reports to give a starting point as to how well you're doing, and then a more customized deep dive report, which includes much more analysis of things like consumer sentiment, for example, with a much more customized and deeper strategic recommendations. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Trisha.
Great, thanks, Martin. So in this new reality, we're thinking of ways of evolving your paid media strategy, since this is having a tremendous effect on not only paid search, but on your organic search as well. So we're looking at how are AI overviews affecting your paid search strategy, and I'll cover SEO as well in the next few slides. So in today's AI-driven search landscape, brands face unprecedented challenges in maintaining visibility and message control. Google's AI overview is starting to have an impact on CTRs. We're finding that in most recent articles, studies are showing that while citations in Google's AI overviews resulting in a higher quality click, the feature does steal clicks away from organic search results. And we see that especially prominent when you do search on your mobile device. Typically, the AI overview takes about 30 to 50% of the real estate on the first page. So therefore, it's pushing organic results further down the page, minimizing visibility for solidly ranking pages. So in this reality, brands must adapt to both their paid search and SEO strategies to maintain brand relevance in this new reality. To adapt in this new reality, a pivot in strategy is paid search, along with strong SEO principles, will address some key critical pain points. And I'll outline some critical pain points in the next slide. So, we have like a quick quiz in between the next slide. So what best describes your organization's current approach to managing AI-driven brand perceptions? Are you actively monitoring it with influence AI outputs? Are you exploring how to start? Are you relying on traditional SEO and PR strategies, or are you not addressing it yet? Seems like there's a mix of traditional strategies and then some are actively monitoring. That's great. Oops, sorry, skipped ahead a bit. So some of the critical pain points that are bubbling up that we're finding in these AI overviews and how to combat it is that there's diminishing control over brand narratives in AI search environments. AI search algorithms are redefining how patients and healthcare providers discover and understand our brands. Without proactive management, our carefully crafted messages can be diluted or misrepresented when filtered through these new AI-driven search interfaces. We also finding that defensive postures can limit market share. The traditional strategy for a lot of companies or pharmaceutical marketing approaches often prioritize risk mitigation over aggressive growth strategies. And that can be detrimental because this defensive stance is becoming increasingly costly as competitors who are effectively leveraging AI search capabilities are capturing greater impression share and patient engagement. We're also seeing insufficient visibility into evolving brand perception. As search behavior evolves, pharmaceutical companies struggle to accurately track how their brands are perceived in these new AI-influenced environments, thus creating some blind spots in understanding market positioning and sentiment. ChatGPT, as Martin said, will provide an answer regardless of the situation. So it's better to get ahead of it and put that content out there where it's being monitored. What LiveWorld's offering is a search perception optimization solution. We are offering an integrated approach that delivers transformative benefits through strategic AI optimized visibility, a proactive reputation management across all search touchpoints, and a comprehensive competitive intelligence that reveals actionable insights. By leveraging both paid tactics and organic optimizations, brands can effectively shape how they appear in search results while continuously monitoring and measuring brand perceptions. This will create a robust digital presence that protects brand integrity while expanding market influence. The strategic visibility in the AI search landscape, our solution combines broad match keyword strategies with Google's AI capabilities to dramatically increase your brand's visibility. By implementing Google's shared model platform, you'll achieve strategic positioning against key competitors while maintaining strict message control. So what we're seeing is that in addition, this is in addition to your paid search strategy, we will, as clicks through websites decrease, that has freed up some budget. And then while looking at those budgets, this is an additional strategy that we are recommending to run in addition to your current paid media strategy for search. We're also offering proactive brand perception management. Beyond visibility, we implement ongoing search query monitoring with sentiment analysis to protect your brand reputation. Our strategic negative keyword implementation and responsive ad optimization ensures that products maintain positive association and appropriate context. We're also offering comprehensive competitive intelligence, a solution that drives actionable insights about your position relative to competitors through impression share metrics, share voice tracking, and sentiment trend analysis across target segments. This intelligence allows for targeted strategy adjustments that increase market presence while protecting brand integrity. Our implementation process is aimed to be seamless, integrating with existing operations and moving from discovery to optimization in a shorter period of time. And we will continuously monitor improvement thereafter. In addressing SEO, we are recommending these three strategies that we believe will win in this environment. We will start with owning your own content, becoming the expert source rather than just ranking for keywords. This is more based on content rather than just flat out keywords. Recommending building out content clusters. For example, say your site is about dog training. Don't just write about how to train a dog, but also cover some other techniques that might be related to training a dog, such as leash techniques, behavior psychology, some training tools, and troubleshooting aggression. Any type of articles or content around the main content of your site is very important. Also looking to AI-proof content. AI cannot replicate human experience. Include real experiences that includes expert quotes, unique data, case studies, some original videos, and strong opinions. Anything that makes your content unique, that adds a human touch, is very relevant in this age. Also, tailoring your content to tailor to AI, writing long tail answers, and refresh content regularly. These sites are trolling your site regularly, and they will refresh based on the content that you're posting on your own website. In terms of measurement, we're seeing a lot of zero clicks to websites. We recommend using strong branding in your titles and meta descriptions, but also incentivizing users to still click through to your website, offering a free template or any sort of guide that is useful for the consumer or the patient, and getting them to click through to your website. I think that wraps up for us on the LiveWorld side.
All right. Thank you, Trisha and Martin. We're going to go to a Q&A now. So if you've got questions, drop them in the chat. But I will get us started with an initial question. So what makes LiveWorld's approach here different from traditional social listening or media monitoring tools? And that's for you, Trisha.
Okay. AI can only source publicly sourced data, as Martin outlined in the presentation. you need to pay more attention to monitor forums like your own organic pages, your Facebook pages, Reddit forums, even articles that help AI form its opinion about your brand. LiveWorld employs 125 social media agents, human agents, that continuously work and moderate in the conversational space of social media that will offer the human touch to any sort of insights that AI cannot duplicate.
Great. And Martin, this one's for you. Walk us through quickly again, what are the specific steps that brands can take if their AI reputation isn't where they want it to be?
Yeah, I think the first thing is diagnostic, right? So you can diagnose where the reputation is falling down. Is it because some things are going to be more actionable than others. So, for example, if your efficacy results haven't been good, that's not something that's a fact, and you're not going to be able to do so much about that. On the other hand, if your consumer sentiment is poor just because of some negative reviews or negative comments on Reddit, that's something that's potentially more actionable. And as Trisha has explained, there's a whole series of actions that you can take in terms of search to sort of direct people to places where that are more favorable in terms of your overall reputation. So I think diagnostic first, and then take action where weaknesses are seen or reinforce places where you're strong.
Yeah. And Trisha, back to you, when we talk about influencing the AI summaries, knowing that there's hallucinations out there, limited data that can skew perception, incorrect data. I mean, what is the best way that, these brands should be thinking about influencing AI summaries?
So, I think we talked about it a lot, was publishing high authority structured content. I mean, that's where you can control all the narrative is on your own site, using clear headings, summaries, making sure that your site has the correct schema market to help AI identify the key takeaways from the content that you're publishing. Also, prioritizing FAQ, like frequently asked questions style content with bullet points and featured snippet ready formats. Always ensure that your content reflects your brand's positioning consistently across like all your web properties, and then ensuring that your core messaging is repeated consistently across articles that you're publishing, your own websites, as well as your social media. One other thing I would also stress is that if you have a Google My Business profile and a LinkedIn profile, those are two areas that AI does troll to maintain and populate those areas. Sometimes they get forgotten in the mix, but since that is being monitored by ChatGPT and other AI entities, it's good to have investment and presence there that is maintained properly.
Perfect. And our final question here, else we get any more in from the audience, is can we commission a custom AI reputation snapshot for our brand, and how granular can it go?
Well, so yes, absolutely, we can commission a snapshot of your brand. I'd love to have people who want to have one reach out to us, and we can sort one of those out for you. In terms of the second part of the question, how granular it can go, the answer to that is actually it depends. As I say, ChatGPT will always give you an answer, but one of the things when you're working with ChatGPT is to really challenge it when it does give you an answer, if you don't think that it's really basing that information on solid sort of source of information. So if you cut the information too finely and it's too thin, you'll find that the answer is less and less robust and less reliable. So, I mean, for huge brands, the Humiras, the Ozempics, those brands, the ability to cut is going to be much greater than from a rare disease brand, for example, where there may not be that much information that's available. So I think it's a really case by case basis. But yeah, I mean, it's possible to be pretty granular.
Perfect. And Martin, if anybody does want to get in touch with you, what is the best way for them to do so?
That's really a Matthew question. Yes, just reach out to us. I guess would be. You can reach out to me directly. How about that? mbishop@liveworld.com. I'll take all inquiries.
Perfect. All right. Well, that is all the. Oh, wait. Do we have one more question? Oh, hello@liveworld.com is what Matthew has to say about to reach out, but also reach out to Martin as well. All right. I think that does it for us, unless Matthew and Trisha, do you have any final thoughts for the group?
No, I don't.
Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us today for LiveWorld's great presentation. I'm Jameson Fleming for MM+M. Have a great rest of your day.